And we just want to put that as close to center as we can, so that we're not into the material along there and we're not into our joint. So right up center. I'm just going to have a bit of a guess with this one, marking both ends. And I can use my safety rule this time. Oh, still might use my flat rule just so that when I do that second cut I can get that angle that I wanted. That one didn't work out quite so neatly, but so long as my Depron rod fits, I can get my hot glue again and put just a little dab in each end this time. Got my glue gun set a little bit hot, and it's actually melting away at the Depron in there. You can see that. So make sure you've got a low melt glue gun, or the opportunity to let it cool down a little bit before you touch it on. I haven't had a problem with hot glue with other parts. It's just when you put it in a big clump with a too high temperature, it's just sort of melting away. So we're going to put a bit of steer tape on that. And rather than cut it off where I've got a 45° there, I'll just cut down here and fold it around, and the steer tape will stick better to itself rather than sticking to the Depron. So we'll fold that around onto that edge. And maybe just cut this end bit out. So we've got a bit more structure in that one now, and hopefully that doesn't twist. And we're only going to have a servo controlling one side of it. So now that servo, hopefully we'll be able to push down the whole elevator rather than it twisting and flexing when it's trying to move it. So now we've got all of our pieces ready to go. And we'll just pull this body and fuselage apart. I'm going to put the wings in first, so they sit down in that channel. Then the fuselage and body together. All the way up. We want to have an even step across where this motor mount is, just in here. So, and this joint should also come together, but it's possible that those dimensions aren't quite right, and also the back, the tail should meet up here. We can start looking at attaching the elevator. We're going to have the carbon rod down. And we're just going to tack it on with some tape to start with. On one side, we'll work on the underside of it, and this is going to be a bit more tricky because we don't have a flat surface to work on. So I'll put a little tack on the elevator, just a little tack like that, and one at the back. And we need to position that carefully so that it's even on both sides. So I've just tacked that on now with about 1 millimetre either side and about 0.5 mm down the gap. of the joint. So that can fold up and down. Now I need to start joining that on using a similar method than we did when we're doing the ailerons. Right, now we just want to put our steer tape on the back, on the underside of our elevator. So we've got some on the top, we want to put some on the back side of it. So we've got this piece on the top here, we want to put some on the back side. Now I've just done this one and I've started from this edge and the sticky tape rolls in to the corner, up along this 6mm back of the body and over the edge, and that should be enough for the elevator. And we're just going to do that side. So I've got just a few pieces of timber from out the back, and I'm just using that to be able to sit the plane on, so it sits sort of flat while I'm working on it. And we'll just take a piece a little bit longer than what we need, and we're going to stick it down, starting from where our 45-degree cut goes. Grab a knife and trim it back to the length we need. And then just with a pen, I found I can just push that into the corner the whole way along and sit it down nicely on that surface. Then we want to set it down on this next surface, and then we want to roll it over and rub that in with your nail once again. And you can even press it together a little bit just by bending that elevator up and pushing on both sides. So we haven't done the 3 pieces of tape for the elevator, we've just done the 2, but I'm quite happy with how that's held on. So 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom. Just the rudder to go. Okay, and finally we're going to attach the rudder just onto here like so. We've already got the 45 degrees down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to tack it onto the back, tack on the back side, and then I'll flick it around. And similarly with the elevator, we need to put 2 pieces on to make sure that this elevator is clear. And we'll go ahead and do that now. So I'm just going to put a little tack across the back here and across the back here, and that will hold it in place while I can move it around. So with my sticky tape, one little tack there, 1 tack up the top, and they can probably stay there. They don't need to come off, we'll just stick over top of them. So with the tack at the top, we just want to make sure that we've got about 1 mil or 2 at the top, so that we've got a bit of clearance and it's not going to be hitting, and that our back's also level at the bottom. So I'll just turn the plane around. So I've just got these 2 tacks, 1 tack at the bottom, 1 tack at the top. And we're going to try and do the inside now of that rudder. So we're going to take a piece just along here first, and then I'll just put a piece down the bottom as well. So just the length about that long. and we'll just check that we've got enough movement there. So we want 45 degrees one way, 45 degrees the other, and it looks like we do. So we can check all of our control surfaces now. Aileron, I haven't glued this together yet, that will be in the next video. Second aileron, elevator, and rudder. We just want to check that there's enough clearance in here so that the elevator can move up and down freely, and the rudder's also free from hitting any of the other spots.